Welcome, everybody. This is Suzanne Shirley, Senior Ruby here with Plexus Worldwide. We are live tonight. We are starting the very first chapter of the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here tonight and to train and teach all of you. I just would love to tell you this. I think I have discovered this over the past year, just training with John Maxwell over and over again. It has come to my realization that I just cannot wait to be a Maxwell trainer. It's a dream of mine, and I have to wait. I think I'm going to have to wait till I'm a diamond because I can't imagine. Well, maybe I don't have to wait till I'm a diamond, but I want to wait until my team is solid to where I can bring everybody up that wants to come up and, have leaders solid into my team that really can develop other leaders before I go off and train everybody in Plexus or everybody somewhere else. But I think I would like to become a certified Maxwell trainer. I remember standing in front of my classroom, teaching my students, and I would get off on an inspirational topic of some sort. And I'm going to take my lay off. We are going to Maui in 2017. We are going to go. And we are going to head there. Our whole team is headed there. We've got some major people committed. Anyway, as I was saying, and I would get into talking about something inspirational, and I would literally be able to captivate my audience. The students would actually stop whatever they were doing and listen to me. And some of them had drool and their mouths hanging open, and you could have heard a pin drop. And when I went back to the subject matter, it was always hard to go back to the subject matter because I would rather have taught something inspirational. So anyway, I think I was born to do it. I love doing this. It's a pleasure to come on, you guys, every week and teach and train you. So I can't wait to get into the meat and potatoes of this. The print is bigger in this book, so hopefully I won't have to use my glasses. I'm in the introduction on page XIII, okay? And if you're in your text, you'll want to go there with me. What is potential? Potential looks forward with optimism. It promises success. It implies fulfillment. It hints at greatness. Potential is a word based on possibilities. Based on possibilities. So what about unfulfilled potential? Well, unfulfilled potential is as negative as the word potential is positive. And Florence Lightower, who's a speaker and author, wrote a story in her book called The Silver Boxes about her father, who always wanted to be a singer but never was a singer. And she says that he died with the music still inside of him. What a terrible waste to die with your dreams and unfulfilled potential inside of you. So how do you reach your potential? How do you reach that? John Maxwell says, I have no doubt that the answer is growth, personal growth. To reach your potential, you must grow. And to grow, you must be highly intentional about it. And what is the purpose of this book? The purpose of this book, according to John Maxwell, is to help you to develop the right attitude, to learn more about your strengths, to tap into your passion, and to become more in touch with your purpose and develop your skills so that you can be all that you can be. And you know what? One of the most important things that you need to know is that you do not have to be a leader for this book to help you. You don't have to be one. You don't need to be a part of a team to grow, although it certainly helps, and we are all a part of a team, thank God. You just need to be a person who wants to grow and become better than you are today. And I will tell you something that is so important. He talks about the 6 areas of growth. And what I did is I took that paragraph and I wrote them down, the 6 areas of growth, in the very front of my book here. The 6 areas of growth. To discover your own purpose in life, you need to grow in self-awareness. To become a better human being, you need to grow in character. To advance in your career, you need to grow in your skills. To be a better spouse or a parent, you need to grow in relationships. To reach financial goals, you need to grow in knowledge and how money works. And finally, to enrich your soul, you need to grow spiritually. And I'm here to tell you right now, 100%. If you want to be successful in network marketing, all of those areas, every single one of them, you cannot just take one and grow there. You must grow in all 6 areas. It is imperative. I'm here to tell you that is why I'm so committed to giving you these opportunities to grow personally. Every single week, I'm growing with you. Without personal growth and development, you will not reach your potential. You will plateau. You might have some sort of a level of success and you will reach it and you will stay there. You can work as hard as you want. You can throw mud up on the wall till the cows come home. You can just hope and pray that it sticks on the wall, but it will not. You will plateau and you will not be able to get traction in your business until you grow in those 6 areas, all 6. According to John Maxwell, my recommendation, this is him talking, is that you tackle a chapter of this book every week, and that's what we're going to do. Discuss it with your friends, that's what we're going to do, and do the application exercises that are at the end of each chapter. Keep a growth journal. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, if you have not done so already, and if you're just kind of blithely, just kind of reading the chapters and hanging out with us, I don't want you to do that. I want you to take this very seriously. I want you to get yourself, okay, a notebook, a spiral that's just, see how this, I've just got it just for this, okay? A spiral just for this book, all right? And in that spiral, you're going to personally answer the questions at the end of the chapter. If you need to write down some of the main points, some of the quotes or different main points that you think are poignant to you and applicable to you, do that. And then when you're finished, answer the questions for you personally and specifically, and keep the spiral notebook with your text at all times so that you can always have it. You can go back to it. You can refer to it. And guess what else you can do? Are you ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? Here's what you're going to do. You are going to teach this to your team. It might not be this week. It might not be this year, but you are going to teach this to your team. You are going to duplicate me. Why shouldn't you? This is what works. So that's my personal challenge to you. Get yourself a growth journal and incorporate what you're learning into everyday life. And for this specific purpose, for this book right now, you cannot change your life until you change something that you do every day. You can't. It's impossible. You've got to change what you do every day. So we're going to cover chapter 1, the Law of Intentionality. Growth does not just happen. Life is now in session. Life is in session. Are you present? Are you present? Are you ready to grow? Do you have a plan for personal growth? Growth is not based on accomplishments and activities. Not on accomplishments, not on daily activities. Okay? John Maxwell says that he fumbled around for his answers to that question. He went around and listed his accomplishments from his previous 3 years. He talked about how hard he had worked. He outlined his goals. He explained the things that he was going to do to reach people or that he was doing to reach people. And all of his answers were based on activities, not on improving. Finally, he realized that he had to admit it. He had no plan to become better. I think that's something we need to really think about. Are we doing a bunch of activities? Are we throwing all kinds of mud up on the wall? Are we reaching out to people and trying to talk to people and form relationships with people, but not successful? Why is that? Is there a certain thing that's keeping us from connecting to other people? Is there something that's keeping us from having influence over others? We need to grow personally. We need to. And that's the way you're going to start being able to be influential with the people around you and attract people around you that are influential as well. And those people will be attracted to you and want to join you in whatever mission you're doing in life, whether it be Plexus, whether it be for the gospel, if you're a Christian, whatever that might be. You are going to attract people to yourself when you are growing into your purpose in life. Working hard does not guarantee success. And guess what else? Hope is no strategy. You can work hard, and there's people all over the world that work themselves to death, and they think that they are producing something, but what they're doing is they're really just getting by. They're paying their bills every month, and they're getting by, and they're staying right here. They're not growing. They're working really hard, and they think that their hard work is going to make them successful. And they have a lot of hope. They hope someday something great is going to happen to them. But hope is no strategy, and hard work is no guarantee of success. You cannot work harder. You cannot work longer or wait for these things or wait for things to get better. You can't just sit around and wait for things to get better. They never will. Okay. In 1972, John had a big job offer. He had just been given the opportunity to move up in his career. And he had been offered the best church in his denomination and offered the top leadership job at a premier location. Maybe you've been offered that, he says. Maybe you've been offered the premier job offer in your location in your company. That's what it was for him, he says. The problem was that he was only 24 years old. He was way over his head, and he knew that if he didn't rise to the occasion, he would fail spectacularly. So he believed that success would come to anyone who poured himself into his career. That's what he believed. And this man called Kurt, who gave him this growth kit, this success growth kit. He happened to come across Kurt, who was a salesman, and he offered him to sell him this success growth kit. Okay. And Kurt helped him to realize that the key was personal growth. And it occurred to John that if you focus on your goals, you may hit your goals, but that does not guarantee growth. And if you focus on growth, you will grow and always hit your goals. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It's so powerful. Something that needs to be in your spiral, okay? If you focus on your goals, you may hit your goals. You may. But that doesn't guarantee your growth. It doesn't guarantee growth at all. You're going to hit some goals, but it doesn't guarantee your growth. You're just kind of staying where you always were. But if you focus on your personal growth, you will grow and you will always hit your goals. Always. Okay. James Allen's As a Man Thinketh. Okay. This is a quote. And it came to John's mind. And Allen wrote, "People are anxious to improve their circumstances, but they are unwilling to improve themselves. They, therefore, remain bound." They're bound. They're tied up. They can't get past whatever level they're on because they're unwilling to improve themselves. They want to change, but they don't want to do the work to get there. So there are 8 growth traps, if I can remember right. Yes, there are 8 of them. There are 8 growth traps, growth gap traps, and we're going to go over those growth gap traps. So if you have dreams, goals, and aspirations, you need to grow to achieve them. You need to grow. And you have one or more mistaken beliefs that create this gap that keeps you from growing and reaching your potential. So one or more mistaken beliefs or myths that they're just things you believe and they're not really true. Okay. So the first one is the assumption gap, that you assume that you're going to just automatically grow because you're living every day. You're just, okay, it's been 30 more days, so I must have grown personally, right? Well, it's been a year now. I've really learned a lot this year. What have we learned? Have we done anything intentionally to grow ourselves? That's the question. The problem is that we don't improve by simply living. We have to be intentional about the growth that we're doing. Bruce Springsteen, famous rock and roller, right? A time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man that you want to become and start being the man that you want to be. And if you're a woman, you can just replace the word woman there, okay? Nobody improves by accident. Personal growth does not just happen on its own. And once you're done with your formal education, you must take complete ownership of the growth process, because nobody else is going to do it for you. So do you remember this? Do you remember this, guys? You're finished with your college education. Oh, man, it's over. I don't have to take another test. I don't have to read another one of these crazy books that I don't want to read. I'm done. I know everything I need to know. Now it's just time to earn some money. I did have that crazy thought at one point in my life. And I have to tell you right now, as I'm an adult and I look back on that immature attitude that I had, I have to admonish myself, because that was an incredibly naive and immature attitude and approach to life. And I'll tell you a real life application of that. In my classroom as a teacher, and we would finish the first semester of the year, and my class was a year-long class. It was a whole year. I've had the same students for an entire year. And the students would say at around Christmas time, well, Miss Shirley, we just finished the whole semester. Can I just throw all this stuff away? Can you imagine my reaction? I would look at them and I would say, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I said, this is a progressive class. Look across this room. Every single one of you is in a level 2 language class. Do you know right now if you're planning on going to level 3? Have you made that decision? Some of you will decide in about a few months whether you want to enroll in that class. And if you've already tossed all of your materials, you won't even have one iota of a scrap of paper to go back and review the concepts that will build upon every single thing you're going to have to know next year. And furthermore, let's just take that off the table. Well, what if you don't enroll in Spanish 3 next year? What if you just want to keep track of all the things that you just learned this year? And you've just wasted all your time? Are you just going to toss it in a circular file and get rid of everything just because you don't want to carry it around? What an immature attitude. And I would always say, if I see one scrap of paper in my trash can, you will serve a week's worth of detention. They didn't ever put it in my trash can. Now, I don't know if they ever put it in someone else's trash can, but I said, you throw things away at your own peril, at your own risk. Because I always made sure that I had a notebook or something that was due 2 or 3 weeks later. And it had all these old papers in them. And some of them were like scrambling around trying to redo everything. Oh, I loved doing that. I would do that all the time. I would make sure that my point was, hit home. Okay, so moving on. Michel, and let's see if I can say this is a French name. Michel de Montaigne observed, no wind favors him who has no destined port. The wind is not going to be in your favor if you don't have a destined port. If you don't know where you're headed to, you don't have a destination, then the wind is not going to take you any place. Remember, hope is not a strategy. Hope is no strategy. If you want your life to improve, you must improve yourself. You must make a tangible target, right? Okay, the second gap is the knowledge gap, meaning I don't know how to grow. So therefore, I don't know what to do. Therefore, I can't grow. So John Maxwell says that after he was talking with this guy named Kurt that was helping him with his growth plan, he went around talking to everybody and that he knew, and he asked the same question that Kurt had asked him. Hey, do you have a growth plan? Do you have a growth plan? Well, what about you? Do you have a growth plan? And not one person said yes that he asked. Nobody in his world had a plan for growing and improving. And John says that he did not know how to grow, and neither did any of these people. And so he then talks about designer, artist, and consultant Loretta Staples. And she says, if you are clear with what you want, the world responds with clarity. So when you're clear in your vision of what you want, you start to see everything clearer. The world seems like a clear place for you. It responds to your clarity with clarity. So why doesn't that make sense? That makes perfect sense, right? So many people resort to learning just from experience. That's what most people do. In fact, before I read this book, honestly, I didn't know that I was seeking out personal growth when I read biographies of famous people that accomplished amazing things. I didn't know that I was growing personally when I read about historical things that happened in our history. I didn't know that I was seeking out personal growth when I read about Dietrich Bonhoeffer and how he was a pastor and a martyr and a spy for the Christian, for the gospel of Christ in Nazi Germany. I mean, I just aspired to learn about great people because they inspired me and I wanted to be like them. But I didn't think I had the guts or the courage like Dietrich Bonhoeffer did. But I just loved to read about them. And little did I know I was seeking out personal growth by following the lives of other successful people that I wanted to follow in their path. Many people only learn from the school of hard knocks. I thought that's all I was doing, is just learning from experiences, whatever just came along in my life. Difficult experiences teach people lessons, and they learned the hard way, right? The lessons are random and difficult, and it's much better to plan your growth intentionally instead of just ride the waves of experience, okay? You decide where you need or want to grow, and you choose what you will learn. And therefore, you will follow through with discipline, going at the pace that you set. And therefore, you don't have to ride the waves of random, experiential, I hope I learned something from this experience or this disaster that takes over my life. I mean, why should we have to wait around for some experience to happen to us? Why don't we take a plan, make a plan, instead of thinking that hope is a strategy, let's make a focused, thoughtful, intentional plan for growth. So this package that John was going to buy cost $799. It was this growth kit. You can't imagine his excitement, he said, as he opened up this growth kit and he started to flip through the 5 areas that it covered. What were the areas? Attitude, goals, discipline, measurement, and consistency. Okay, think about those things. If we have the right attitude, if we set the right goals, if we have discipline, if we know how to measure our goals and measure our success, and we are consistent, think about how successful we're going to be. We talk about those things all the time in Plexus. Learning those lessons opened the door of personal growth just a crack for him. And he began to see growth opportunities everywhere he looked. His world began to open up, and he started to accomplish more. He started to become more successful. He learned more. He was able to lead and help others more. And other opportunities began to present themselves. His world expanded. And outside of his faith, the decision to grow has impacted his life more than any other. Think about that. If you have a strong faith in your Creator, and you think that has been the thing that has changed your life, which I think most believers say that is the thing that has changed their life forever. Absolutely. Why not have something else that's second right behind that, where you decide to personally, intentionally seek out personal growth? I'm telling you something right now. You will be a new person. You will achieve great success. You will find your calling in life. You will make your mark on the planet, and you will reach your dreams. That's what's going to happen. The timing gap, that's the gap number 3. It's not the right time to begin. So Frank Clark said, what great accomplishments we'd have in the world if everybody had done what they intended to do. Everybody has intentions. Everybody does. But who actually follows through with their intentions? Very few people. Most people don't act as quickly as they should on things, and they find themselves subject to the law of diminishing intent. The law of diminishing intent, which says, quote, The longer you wait to do something that you should do now, the greater the odds are that you will never do it. The law of diminishing intent. The longer you wait to accomplish something, the greater the odds are that you will never even begin to do it. Never ever do it. I say let's stop waiting. Let's stop waiting. Let's not fall prey to the law of diminishing intent. Oh, that sounds terrible. You may be under similar personal or professional pressure right now. If you are, you're probably anxious to start growing and developing. Are we under some pressure? What kind of pressure are you under? Some people really need to earn an extra $1,000 a month to help with their finances. You know, some people are desperate to get away from the job that's killing them. Some people are desperate to buy groceries for their family. I know a lot of your whys, okay? I know them. So are you under some sort of pressure right now? And hopefully if you are under some pressure, you're going to be anxious to grow. You're going to be anxious to grow and develop. But what if you're not under any pressure? What if you're not under any kind of pressure whatsoever? You know, your husband makes all kinds of money. You don't even have to work. You're staying at home. Man, you're just doing whatever you want to do whenever you need to do it. You're enjoying your time. You know that you've got money in the bank every month. You might not be living high on the hog, but you're not lacking anything. There's no pressure. There's no pressure. So whether you feel prompted to or not, now is the time to start growing. It doesn't matter if you feel pressure or not. Leo Buscaglia says, life lived for tomorrow will always be a day away from being realized. Life lived for tomorrow will always be a day away from being realized. Who wants to live like that? I don't want to live for tomorrow. The reality is that you will never get much done unless you go ahead and do it before you're ready to do it. If you're not already intentionally growing, then you need to get started today. If you don't, you may reach some goals, you may reach some, which you can celebrate, but you will eventually plateau. You will plateau. I know, because I'm not going to name any names, but I speak with people. I can't tell you how many people ask me every week, Suzanne, they're not on my team. Suzanne, will you Zoom with me? I need some help. Can you help me out? I feel like I have gone backwards. I don't know. I've lost the momentum of my team. I don't know. I've got to get some help. Will you help me? And I do. I help them. Now, am I some massive, huge expert of the world? No. I do sound like I know what I'm talking about, and I have reached a nice level of success. My team is incredible. Our team is incredible, right? So I'm just telling you that. What was I telling you? I just feel like I lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Okay, the reality is you will never get much done unless you go ahead and do it before you're ready. And then I said, eventually you're going to plateau. Okay, so if you don't seek out personal growth, you will plateau. And these people have plateaued. That's what my point was. They've plateaued. I also have met people that ask me for help and they can't get past a rank. I've met people that can't get past Ruby. They just can't get past Ruby. Their team's at a standstill. They're at a standstill. They can't seem to sponsor anybody. They've gotten to this level. They're like, my husband needs me to hurry up and start making more money. I told him I was going to go to a jewel level in another year or so, and I just can't get past this rank. What's wrong with me? Personal growth, okay? And when I look at that person's life, are they in a growth plan? Are they personally seeking out personal growth? Are they reading some books? Are they making excuses and saying, I don't like to read? Are they saying, I don't like audiobooks. I'm not going to sign up for that Audible thing on the iPhone or on my computer. I'm not going to buy any audiobooks on CD. I'm not going to do it. I don't like to do it. Well, then, okay, enjoy staying where you're at. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, you've got to get to a point where you are ready to invest in your own personal growth. That's the only way you're going to get past it. So that's why I wanted to spend a little extra time there. Number 4, the mistake gap. I'm afraid of making mistakes. And what is the big thing here? I'm afraid. It's fear. We're afraid of something. So growing can be a messy business. Yes, sirree, Bob, it's going to be messy. And it requires making a lot of mistakes. But that is the price of admission if you want to improve. You're going to have to make a lot of mistakes. Ask Michael Jordan. Okay? Ask the greatest hitters in baseball. Ask them, because you see them on the field making, like a great success of themselves. But how many countless thousands of hours did they practice on the practice field where they made mistake after mistake after mistake, and they bombed it and bombed it and bombed it, and they thought they were never going to get it right? You've got to fail in order to succeed. Robert Schuller says, what would you attempt to do if you knew that you would not fail? Think about that right now. Think about what you would attempt to do if you knew that it was impossible for you to fail. You would be fearless, wouldn't you? You would take on the world. You would take some risks that you never even dreamed about taking before, because you know that you could not fail. Think about that. Those are the types of things you need to start thinking about. And if you can get rid of that fear and start being relentless about your failure, and start thinking about some things that you're more than just willing to fail at, you're going to take on. You're going to go, let's fail at this, and set out to fail. I know I said that. Set out to fail. Set out to make mistakes so that you can gain some experience, so that you can learn, and so that you can improve and grow. Because failure equals success. You've got to get that down. You got to stop being afraid of failure. If you want to grow, you need to get over any fear that you may have of making mistakes. Warren Bennis asserts, a mistake is simply another way of doing things. It's just another way of doing things. To become intentional about growing, expect to make mistakes every single day and welcome them as a sign that you're moving in the right direction. Okay? So you got to get rid of your fear of failure. You got to embrace failure. We talked about the 5 levels of failure the other day. I'm not going to get into it, but you have to become to the point where you say, I'm going to more than just accept that failure is a part of success. I'm going to seek it out. I'm going to go after failure. I want to fail. I have a wantingness to fail. And then the next level we talked about, which I said I wasn't going to get into, is to realize if you can do that, why not do it more? Let's fail faster. And when you start failing faster, you're going to have more success, and you will have the toughest skin. Oh my goodness, you're going to laugh when people reject you. You're going to laugh when they don't join you. When they don't see the vision, you're going to go, have a nice life, because I'm going to go on to the next one. Please step out of the way so I can get to that 10,000 people standing behind you, right? That's what we're going to do. Are you there? If you're not there, this is the gap you need to focus on. Get rid of your fear of failure. Moving on, the perfection gap. Here's the perfection gap. I have to find the best way before I start. Information collectors, data collectors. Let's seek out all the new approaches. Let's see all the different angles we can approach this from, and, analyze them and do a comparison chart and figure it all out before you take the first step. You are never going to start if you do that. So desire to find the best way to get started on a personal growth plan. Why don't you do that instead? Okay, John says, I had to get started if I wanted to find the best way. It's similar to driving on an unfamiliar road at night. You know how when you're driving on an unfamiliar road, you can't see. You don't know where the turns are going to be. You have no idea. You can't see very far in front of you. So, okay, ideally, you'd like to be able to see your whole route before you begin. You'd like to see the whole thing mapped out. Okay, the whole thing. Not going to happen. You're not going to get blessed with that. It's not going to happen. But you see it progressively, just a little bit at a time. As you go down the road, your headlights light up only a certain amount of space in front of you, just enough so that you can drive through to that space until it lights up the next space, right? So as you move forward, a little more of the road is revealed to you. If you want to see more of the way, what are you going to do? You're going to move forward. Get moving. If you want to see what's in front of you, get moving. You know what? I just want to say something. That's a great analogy. This is seltzer water, by the way. I don't drink soda. From the amazing Chipotle. You know, here's the thing. I take this to a theological viewpoint. And I know this has nothing to do with the perfection gap. But I think that a lot of us would like to see way down the road. A lot of us would like to see how something's going to work out. How are we going to find the answers for this problem? What's going to become of us? You know what? If I, in my human state that I am, with my brain in a human mortal world that it is, I'm not an eternal being. I live in a body and I'm finite. I'm going to die, and I don't have all knowledge and all power like God does. And I think that if I personally had the power to see how my life was going to unfold, it would frighten me. It would frighten me beyond belief. And I think, moreover, it would paralyze me. Paralyze me. If I knew that cancer was coming, for example, if I knew that another heart attack was coming, if I knew that my husband might not make it, or that I might lose him, or if I knew that I was going to die early. What does early mean? Tomorrow, 2 years from now? If I knew I was only going to live for 10 more years? I don't think we can handle that kind of information. We need to embrace the fact that we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And it's okay. We can't live in the future. We cannot live in the past. We need to live right now, and we need to get moving, because the only way we are going to find out anything that's going to happen is if we move forward, and our headlights are going to shine in that space right in front of us. And that kind of information will be revealed to us as we go. And so I'm trying to tell you, you're never going to know all the information. You're never going to have the best way. You're never going to have the right formulation and all the angles and all the data collected so that you can do the best study and have the right approach before you do it. You just need to get started. You need to start making some mistakes. You need to get sloppy. Okay, that's my little take on that. Now, that was a tiny little paragraph, but I made it into a lot more than that. Number 6, the inspiration gap. I don't feel like doing it. Who relates to that? Woo-hoo. I do. Procrastination. And I am the work beast. I love to work. I work hard. And when I get to work, I'm focused, right? I'm on. But we put things off sometimes, don't we? And we just need to do it. We just need to do it. Here's an example of the inertia of motivation. This is called just do it. We hear it almost every day. Sigh, sigh, sigh. I just can't get myself motivated to lose weight, test my blood sugar, etc. And we hear an equal number of sighs from diabetes educators. This is from a medical journal, by the way. We hear a number of diabetes educators who can't get their patients motivated to do the right things for their diabetes or their health. How many people have you talked to, by the way, in Plexus, who have diabetes and they take all kinds of medications for it and they never test their blood sugar? Have you found some of those people? I have, and it scares me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You have diabetes, like one of the big 4 diseases of the country, and you're not testing your blood sugar? You don't know what your fasting blood sugar is, and the blood sugar is all the way, what? I mean, oh my gosh, that scares me. Okay, I just had to say that. So we have news for you people, according to this thing. Motivation is not going to strike you like a lightning bolt. And motivation is not something that someone else, nurse, doctor, family member, can bestow or force on you. You got to do it yourself, don't you? The whole idea of motivation is a trap. Oh, it's a trap. You're not going to just get motivated. Forget motivation and just do it. So what does that mean? Action. Action precedes inspiration. Action precedes motivation. If you want to get motivated, take some action. Take some action, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to get motivated as a result. You know what? We never feel like we want to do something. We never feel like it. How often do we feel like we want to go to work? But we get ourselves out there and we get the work going, and all of a sudden we feel good about it. We start feeling like we're in the right mindset. So I've always heard, and I stole it from somebody else, one of my amazing youth directors, I love him so much. He always said, do what is right because it is right until it feels right. I'm going to say it again. Do what's right because it's right until it feels right. You're not going to feel right first. Your feelings follow your emotions, right? So a Harvard psychologist, Jerome Bruner, says you're more likely to act yourself into feeling than feel yourself into action. Say it again. You're more likely to act yourself into feeling instead of feeling yourself into action. So guess what? Get to work. Act. Whatever it is that you know you should do, just do it, for crying out loud. You may not feel inspired to aggressively pursue a growth plan if you haven't started yet. You might not be inspired to do it. But if that's the case, please trust me. According to John, this is him saying it. Please trust me when I say that the reasons to keep growing far outweigh the reasons to start growing. The reasons to keep growing far outweigh the reasons to start growing. And you discover the reasons to stay in growth only if you stick with it long enough to start reaping the benefits. Wait till you start reaping the benefits from personal growth. Oh, let me tell you, you're going to be addicted to it. You're going to realize that this is the catalyst to your success. And when you start reaping the benefits from personal growth and you realize the light bulb comes on that this is the catalyst to your success, then you are going to seek it like no tomorrow. Like no tomorrow, right? And you will be able to look back and you will fall in love with the process. You're going to fall in love with personal growth. And you will be able to look back at the end of that year and see how far you've come. Think about that. If you commit to an entire year of personal growth, you can do that. It's easy to do because I always have trainings for us to be in. So why not just commit to the training, show up to it every week, and you're going to be in personal growth. The comparison gap, number 7, and we're going to get to 8, right? Others are better than I am. Fairly early in my career, I attended an idea. Okay, didn't want to redo that. Okay, so the idea of others are better than you are. Okay, you're comparing yourself. You can learn only if others are ahead of you. Okay, that's the only thing I highlighted here. You can only learn if others are ahead of you. Think about this in Plexus. Who do we learn from? People who have gone before us, diamond ambassadors. Who wrote the success kit? Diamond ambassadors. Who has trainings all over YouTube? Diamond ambassadors. Do we need to go and reinvent the wheel? No. We just need to do what other people have done before us that have been successful. We just need to go out and do what they do and duplicate them. So why in the world should we compare? Just realize you can only learn and grow if there are people that are literally ahead of you in that process. There has to be people in front of you. If there's nobody in front of you, how are you ever going to be able to get where you're going? You've got to see where they've gone and how they've gotten there so that you can make a plan to go there too. Now, doesn't that make logical sense? So stop comparing. Joy stealer, big joy stealer. You compete only against yourself, not against anyone else. Number 8, the expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. Oh my Lord. Roll eyes. How often have I heard that? How often do I sponsor people into this business that are so excited, that love, I'm going to go to Diamond. I'm going to be a jewel. I'm going to be on that beach. I'm going to do this. And they start off with lots of work and they show up to everything and they do their thing and they post on Facebook in about a month. Oh, where's Joanna? Where's her Facebook posts? I'm not seeing them anymore. In fact, let's take Joanna's pulse. Is she still alive? Oh, she's turned off her back order. Oh, guess what? She didn't even order last month. Joanna has started, she asked me questions all along, but now she's not asking any questions. Where's Joanna? Guess what? Joanna realized that it was too hard. It's too hard. So she just quit. I thought it would be easier than this. Oh no, honey. It's not easy. The work is easy. The growth is hard. Do you want to grow on yourself? It's not easy to be told no. It's not easy to work when no one's saying anything to you and nobody just falls out of the sky and buys all your products and signs up every day on your website, right? You have to actually go and find some people. Oh, but I thought it would be easier. No, Joanna, it's not easy. You actually have to do some work, and you have to push past your fears. You have to push past the rejection and get past your procrastination and your attitude of, I thought it was going to be easier. Okay. Now, I don't know anybody on this team named Joanna, just FYI. Okay. Just thought I'd throw that name out. So people create their own luck. Okay. Nobody gets lucky. You create it. And what is luck? Preparation, which means growth, plus attitude, got to have a right attitude, plus opportunity, plus action. We take action, and then, which means doing something. You got to do something about it, and that equals luck. Preparation plus attitude plus opportunity plus action equals luck. No one just gets lucky. Very few people get lucky and fall into a leadership position where they're making a lot of money. Very few people. The rest of us all have our families turn us down. They all tell us that we're crazy. Our friends leave us. They think we're nuts. They literally say bad things to us and leave us and block us on Facebook. Ding, ding, ding. That happened to me. And then we have to fight through it. And we have to go find other people. And we have to make new friends. And we have to expand our network. And yes, that's what we have to do. That's 95% of network marketers. They have to do that because their families and their friends don't join them. Did you know that very few people in network marketing have all their little group of family and friends right around them and say, let's do this together. Yay. Oh, I can't wait to do this with you. Oh, let's just go take on the world. Who does that? Okay. It's rare. It's rare. So realize if your family and friends think you are crazy, guess what? Join the club. That's where everyone else is. All right. The people that make it to the top are not lucky. They worked their tail off and they overcame their fears that are in their head and they expanded their network. Okay. Jim Rohn says you cannot change your destination overnight. Okay. But you can change the direction overnight. You can't change your destination. Like you can't get there, hurry up overnight. But you can change the direction you're going. You know, if you were over here, you can turn around about face and go the other way. Overnight, you can change it. So if you want to reach your goals and fulfill your potential, become intentional about personal growth, and it will change your life. And realize it's not luck, and it's not going to just be easy. It's a lot harder than what you thought it was, right? Making the transition to intentional growth. Now, there's 4 things. When you're making the transition to personal growth. The sooner you make the transition to becoming intentional about your personal growth, the better it will be for you because growth compounds and accelerates if you remain intentional about it. Oh my goodness, did you know that? You stay in intentional seeking out personal growth and it's going to compound. It's going to accelerate. You're going to multiply in your growth. It's going to happen to you. You're going to be so attractive, people are going to want to join you. It's going to happen. Number 1, ask the big questions. This is a lifetime process. You've got to accept that. During this year, the question in your mind changed from when he was during that year of personal growth, how long will it take me to get there, to how far can I go? I wonder what I can accomplish. Instead of, oh, God, how long is it going to take me to get to my destination? Right? To, wow, I wonder if I could reach the stratosphere. I wonder if instead of just going to the moon, I can go to Mars and Jupiter and Pluto. Right? That's your new attitude. You're going to start to see that it will compound. So ask yourself, where do you want to go in life? What direction do you want to go in? And what's the farthest you can imagine going? The longer I do Plexus, the more I do Plexus, the more I intentionally grow and expand my mind and my knowledge base and my skill level, the more I start to see that I can do more things and I can dream bigger. My dreams start to become bigger. My why becomes deeper. My why transforms. I'm telling you something. This is what happens when you go after personal growth. The best you can hope to do in life is to make the most out of whatever you've been given, whatever talents you've been given. You got to make the best out of it. You do that by investing in yourself, making yourself the best you can be. The more you've got to work with, the greater your potential and the farther you should try to go. Okay? So number 2, the 4 things is ask the big questions now. We just went over those. Number 2, do it now. We just talked about do it now. Take action. Okay. In 1974, there was a guy named Clement Stone, W. Clement Stone, and he spoke at a seminar at the University of Dayton on the subject of urgency. And he said, before you get out of bed every morning, say, do it now. 50 times. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. And at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, I don't know if I'd sleep, would you? The last thing you should say to yourself is, do it now. Do it now. Do it now. 50 times. Suzanne Shirley would be awake all night if she said that right before she went to sleep. I would never sleep. I would be like, oh, I need to do it now. Okay, and I love this. I just have to throw this in because I love Ame Darling, right? If you guys watched the training with her and Helen McFadden, Zig Ziglar made this amazing statement. He said, commitment is what we do when the excitement is over. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Commitment is what we do when the newness wears off, when the excitement is over. Commitment. Are you committed? On your bathroom mirror, Ame Darling talks about writing down your big 3 goals that you've always got to keep in front of you. You need to take yourself a dry eraser marker and on your bathroom mirror. I'm telling you, when I heard that, that's what I did. I could go take a picture of my bathroom mirror right now and you would see my 3 big goals right now. Keep your goals in front of you. Write with a big dry eraser marker your 3 big goals you're working on right now. I can tell you, can you guess one of them? One of them is emerald. Emerald! Okay. Another thing she said that is a brilliant thing. Oh my gosh, I love this. And I wrote this on my mirror. I challenge you to go write it on your mirror. You have hope and freedom in the palm of your hands with Plexus. You have hope and freedom in the palm of your hands every day with Plexus. What am I going to do with it today? What am I going to do with it today? Today. Do it now. Do it now. There is no tomorrow. Don't put it off what you can do today. You have hope. You have freedom. I don't care if you don't even have a paycheck yet. I don't care if you have no welcome pack yet. I don't care if you don't have a customer yet. I don't care if you don't have anything yet. You have hope and freedom in the palm of your hands. What are you going to do with it today? Talk about what it's going to do for you. Go and get something done. Take some action. Okay, the greatest danger you face in the moment is the idea that you will make intentional growth a priority later. Did you know that later is, according to Jennifer Reed in Success Magazine, later is an insidious word. I don't like the word later. Later. Later means never to me. It's never going to happen. Someday, eventually, tomorrow, someday. There's no someday, guys. Someday it doesn't exist. Later doesn't exist either. Why do we do this to ourselves anyway? Why don't we just take action now? Let's face it, the familiar things of life are so easy. The uncharted path is lined with uncertainties. And that's what keeps us living with this later mentality. Again, Ame Darling, you have hope and freedom in the palm of your hands. What will you do with it today? Today, before you put your head on your pillow. You can do something with hope and freedom today. Don't say later. Don't say someday. Don't say tomorrow. Pick a resource that will help you grow and begin learning from it today. Okay, face your fear factor. The biggest fears that people have are fear of failure, fear of trading security for the unknown. We don't like stepping off to an unfamiliar platform. Suzanne, leaving the familiar $2,300 worth of teaching every month with secured benefits and health insurance. Teacher retirement. Oh, let's step off onto the platform of Plexus. Is Plexus going to be here tomorrow? What if it goes under? No. It's not. It is residual and it's blowing up. And there's diamonds all over the place that have left their jobs. I'm telling you right now, I feel good about stepping away from my $2,300 a month teaching job. Hello. Fear of the unknown. Trading security for the unknown. Yeah, that went through my mind. I'm just being honest. Fear of being overextended financially. What if it costs too much? What if all these things that I'm doing are going to start costing money? I can't afford it. Fear of what others will say or think of you. We all know that one. Fear of success that it will alienate your peers. Fear of success. What if I can't handle being successful? I'm not worried about what my peers are going to think about me. That's a fear of success. Just afraid that I've never been successful. Can I handle that? What if I can't handle money? What if I blow it all? What if I just, fears. Those are some of mine. I just gave you some of my fears that I have to work against. And I have the little app on my phone and I do the record it now and I just do the positive affirmations and I really fight over those fears. Okay, it really doesn't matter which fears affects you the most. We all have fears, but here's the good news. We all have faith. We all have faith. And the question you have to ask yourself is, which emotion will I allow to be stronger? And that's what I have to ask myself every day. I will not allow my fears to get away or get in front of my success. I choose faith over fear. Every single day, I get up out of bed and I choose to be grateful. I choose to not compare myself. I choose to be happy for people that are in Hawaii that got to go and I didn't get to go this year. I choose to be happy when people rank up at the end of the month and I don't. I choose gratitude. I choose being positive. I choose my faith. I choose to believe it's going to happen for me so that it allows me to be happy for other people. That's when you know you're in this for the long haul. I want to encourage you to feed your faith and starve your fears. Okay, I know I'm looking at the time. Change from accidental to intentional growth. People tend to get into ruts in life. Oh, I love this one. Get ready. They get into this easy groove and they don't try to break out of it. They just stay in this rut. Have you been in some ruts in your life? I know I have. I never thought there was a way out of a rut. I never thought there was a way out of my career rut. I didn't think so, but now there is, I know. We get into diet ruts, eating ruts. We get into all kinds of ruts, mental thinking pattern ruts. Even when it's taking them in the wrong direction, they just stay in their little rut. And after a while, they just get by. They just live there in that rut. And if they learn something, it's because it's like a happy accident that just happens to them. Ooh, I can't stand that kind of life. Don't let that happen to you. If that is the attitude that you have developed, then you would do well to remember, here's the big one, get ready. Remember that the only difference between a rut and a grave is the length. The only difference between a rut and a grave is the length. Yikes. Well, in other words, living in a rut is like living in a grave. So let's look at the differences between accidental growth and intentional growth. If you are accidental growth plans to start tomorrow, as opposed to insists on starting today. Accidental growth says waits for growth to come instead of intentional, which takes complete responsibility to grow. Accidental says they learn only from mistakes, whereas intentional growth often learns before mistakes. Accidental says depends on good luck, whereas intentional relies on hard work. Accidental growth quits early and often. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's true. Intentional growth perseveres long and hard. Accidental growth falls into bad habits. Intentional growth fights for the good habits. Accidental growth talks the big talk. Oh, have we seen some big talkers, right? Intentional growth follows through. In other words, you see their walking trail. They don't do the talk. They're walking walks. And you see their actions. Their actions prove that they are intentional. Okay, accidental growth plays it safe. Intentional growth takes risks. Accidental growth thinks like a victim. Woe is me. Life just happens to me, right? Intentional growth thinks like a lifelong learner. I just made a mistake. I have learned from it. Thank you very much. Accidental growth relies on talent. Intentional growth relies on character. Accidental growth stops learning after graduation. Yeesh. Intentional growth never stops growing, never stops learning, always is taking on new skills, always wants to gain new knowledge, always wants to gain new concepts to apply to life. Okay? All right, I'm going to skip on down. If you want to reach your potential and become the person you are created to be, you must do much more than just experience life and hope that you learn what you need along the way. You can't just sit around and hope that you learn every single day what you supposedly should learn. Okay? You must go out on your way and out of your way and seize growth opportunities as if your future depended on it. Why? Because guess what? It does. Your future depends on your personal growth. Growth doesn't just happen to you. Not for me, says John Maxwell. Not for you. Not for anybody. You have to go after it. Okay, so I'm on the homework, and if we did our homework, we know that we need to ask ourselves the question, which of the gaps discussed in this chapter have caused you to neglect growing the way you perhaps could have? Okay, we can talk about that here in a minute. What strategies can you create and implement to help you bridge the gaps? Take a look at your calendar for the next 12 months. And how much time have you specifically scheduled for your personal growth? I know I've scheduled some time. I've made a whole calendar for this team to grow personally. So have you joined us? Rework your calendar so that you have an appointment with yourself for personal growth every single day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks per year. And then think about what's going to happen at the end of the year. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to be off the charts awesome. If you want to succeed, you need to do whatever it takes. Get up an hour early, stay up an hour later, give up your lunch hour, put an extra time in on the weekends. And if you don't, you'll have to prepare to give up your dreams. You will have to prepare to give up your dreams and any hope of reaching your potential. You're going to have to sacrifice something. Start now. No matter what time of day that you're reading these words, make a commitment and start growing today. Okay, I'm going to go to the gallery. I'm going to unmute. Oh my goodness, we got 13 people on. All right. So I'm going to go back to the question. Who would like to answer? And feel free. I mean, seriously, we need to really get to know each other. Who do we have on tonight? We got Cheryl Amigan. We got Suzanne Melinder. Hey. Okay. Who do we have? We got Karen Coppage. We got the regulars, Lori Dragon, Kelly, Mary Kukuski. We got Susie McCrae, Kelly Bruce, Tina Wabshall, Debbie Willingham. Okay, Susan. Susan. There's Susan. Yay. Susan, tell me your last name.
Evans.
Susan Evans. It's so nice to have you on tonight. Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have Angela that's on here because that's the phone number, by the way. Angela's listening. She's driving.
Hi, Angela.
Angela, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, guys.
There she is. Yay.
Hi, Ange. Hey.
Okay.
Hi.
Which of the gaps discussed in this chapter have caused you to neglect growing the way you perhaps could have?
Oh, gosh. Mine's the mistake gap and the comparison gap. Always. It's going to always be there. I just have to overcome it. And I have a friend. I have a friend who constantly tells me her Marine father always told her, "Don't let them beat you." And you just kind of have to live your life that way. Don't let it get you down. Whatever them is in your life, you just can't let it beat you. You have to overcome.
Okay. Wow.
It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear from everybody. I want to hear, what are your gaps that have caused you to neglect growing?
Mine was, I assume I will automatically grow.
Me too.
And my plan is that it doesn't happen through osmosis.
I think I'll grow by putting this book on my head.
Yeah.
I always felt that way in high school. If I put my book,
Stick the book on my
head, and that's when I took a nap.
Yeah.
So, I just thought, like, living through the hard knocks and growing, that was the best way to grow. So my plan is to marinate myself daily in personal growth. I also have the problem of waiting for the best way before I start.
You're green? Are you green? Are you green personality?
Well, I didn't think I was, but yeah. So what I'm going to do is on that, for the best way is, don't wait. I wrote my notes, start with small pieces every day. And the biggest one is I don't know how to grow, which this is helping us. But what I've started to do while I was away last week is learn from, I consider you a mentor, Suzanne, but also learn from another mentor and become an expert in applying my knowledge.
There you go.
So those were my gaps.
Yay! Let's hear some more from everybody. Let's hear your gaps and what's holding you back.
Okay, I can go.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Mine was the assumption gap, because I've always assumed, again, through hard knocks, that I'm always going to learn. And I've actually, on and off throughout my life, I'll start reading a book, how to better myself or take classes or whatever. So I guess the commitment is what I have to be into right now, is a commitment to myself, to invest in myself. I'm also, the time, it's never the right time. I never have enough time. I'm starting to not only read this book, but I've got the Stephen Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yeah, I have at least a half hour, 40-minute drive each way to work every day.
Okay.
And I've been listening to it. Absolutely love it.
Awesome.
So I'm just making a conscious effort also to get out every day. I do something to get out of my comfort zone. One of it is talking to people about Plexus.
Good.
So, and as things come up, I'm looking at mentors. I'm looking at you, Suzanne, but I'm also looking at everybody, that I can on Facebook and what they've done, what's been successful, and things like that. So I think I'm on the right track. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so proud of you. Yay. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's so good to see you. Yay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Who else wants to share?
I'll share. I would have to say the knowledge gap. Just I really didn't know how to grow, and also the comparison gap, because I was always compared others to myself.
Right.
I'm trying to come out of my comfort zone and trying to get into some events. I will continue to, do any and all leadership training so that I can grow that way as well. Doing the book studies and other leadership books that we aren't in right now, but I'm trying to get in as many as I can.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, Tina. Yay. That's awesome. Who else wants to share about their gaps? And also, don't forget ways you can create to implement to bridge the gaps. Don't forget your solution.
I'll go. I'll go. I'll just say that mine is, I had the inspiration gap, the comparison gap, and the perfection gap was the 3 that I had. And the inspiration gap was really, I guess, just I don't feel like doing it. And so it's always looking for motivation rather than just take the action first and then let the motivation follow for that. You know, it's just stepping out on faith and over the fear and just doing it. In which also kind of fed into the comparison gap, you know, looking at others and just thinking, okay, what is their motivation? How are they getting this done? And I'm not doing it. But that quote of, you know, you have to have somebody before you to know what to do, and to look at that as part of my motivation as well. And just also just perfection. You know, you want to be the best. You got to have it the best way, the right way. And rather than going ahead and just taking the risk and get out there and do it. So I just said to significantly to start taking action that will put me out of my comfort zone, and also to set really specific goals, SMART goals, and to get my schedule in order so that it allows me to take the actions without having to find the motivation in that. And also eventually teaching my team. I think once you learn something, you have to apply it. Like I think you said, talk about once you have that knowledge, you have to apply it. And that's one thing. I've been trained as a teacher and also as a leader within my church. We don't just have the knowledge, it has to be applied. So that is a big one for me to get over that perfection gap.
That's good.
Yay. I love y'all so much. I love to hear about your struggles and your accomplishments. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it.
I just love that idea of the smaller bites
Yes.
when it comes to inspiration. Because then I feel like if I look at a goal that I set for myself, I'm like, it scares me and it's intimidating. Break that. You taught us how to break it down into smaller bites, and it's easier to deal with.
Awesome. Let's hear for somebody else. What are some gaps and the way you're going to bridge them?
I'll go.
Okay.
The assumption gap, of course, because I just thought, okay, it's going to happen. And of course, reading more books. And I'd have to say the perfection gap. And I actually, it's like I need to do things now. What happens with me is that I want to learn and grow, but I have like 8 books and I'll start on something and then I find myself going to the next one. It's like trying to, I guess, get better organized and maybe do those little pieces or bites or whatever, like someone else said. But I tend to try to do 5 things at once, which I need to focus on one and stick with it.
There you go. Awesome. Great. Let's keep going.
All right, I can go.
Yay, Cheryl.
Yay. Okay, so I have the time now. I have no excuses for this time thing because kids are all in school. So mine is the perfection gap. So like I'll have an hour to do something. So instead of like getting right on, I have to organize my desk. Like everything has to be in order. So then I get everything in order and the hour's gone and I can't do anything. I haven't done a thing but organized. So I guess it's a little bit of that perfection. Like I'm just, yeah. And then, the mistake one. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, they're going to make so many mistakes and lose so many friends, or, you know, that fear of failure. I still have that. I mean, I'm trying this for a year, but okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be intentional and sit down and just look. I mean, I've got people every day, they're doing stuff, so I follow up. I just get on, just do it. Don't organize until I've done something intentional that day. I will organize it. And then fear, so we talked, it was faith, right? Faith instead of fear. So work on that faith. Be intentional.
First
faith.
thing that comes out of your mouth in the morning needs to be something that affirms that. If you can start your day off with that, then it's so much easier. And I love Ame Darling, how she says, get your stickies, put them next to your bed, put them on your refrigerator, in your bathroom, move your stickies around. It's got to always be in front of you. I loved how she said that. Okay, I don't want to keep talking, so I want everybody else to talk. Suzanne, did you want to say something? Mary? Let's have everybody else come in, chime in. Debbie?
Okay, I'll go.
Yes.
Mine's definitely the timing gap, because I can make up every excuse in the book not to do it. I'm working on that and being more diligent with my time management, because yes, I am stay at home with the kids and they are in school, and I do have time, and I need to make sure I use that time appropriately and effectively and not do other things that take the place of that, because this is number one. It should be number two. The mistake gap, because I hate to be not having the answer. What if I don't know the answer? I don't have the knowledge. I'm afraid of that. Not knowing all the answers. That's always kind of been one of my biggest fears. So just talking to you about the words of affirmation, I need to be better about that. Like I don't affirm with myself on a daily basis. Like I need to really be better about that. So I'm going to work on that.
Awesome. I think that would be something really amazing that you would start to see the differences in yourself. I mean, if you could just attack one thing instead of trying to feel like you're going to attack all these things that you want to get done, just do words of affirmation. Do something to affirm your mindset, and you would just be blown away at how things would start changing for you. I am not kidding. This is so the case. So instead of saying, I've got to do this, instead of I've got to stop being perfect, I've got to get some things done, I've got to stop procrastinating, I've got to work on my mindset, okay, let's just do mindset. Let's work on positive affirmation and just do that. Focus on that. And I'm telling you, things will change. Things will change. That is the number one. Awesome. I love that. Okay, Mary.
Okay, for me, at first, it was definitely the knowledge gap, but I've grown away from that. Spending a lot of time on videos. I'm actually crossing off a lot of the popular ones. The gap that I guess I still, especially on phone calls or, face-to-face, the mistake gap, because I guess I don't ever want to, it wouldn't be intentionally, but when I give, the facts, I want them to be accurate. So I'm always afraid, a little bit afraid of that, but trying to come out of that, being more comfortable with the face-to-faces. I actually even talked with our mailman the other day about Plexus, which was pretty cool. He did a favor for me, and in return I gave him, well, actually it's been a couple weeks now, but in return I gave him a sample and a piece of the literature I had. And so that really made me feel that went so well, so easy, and he seemed receptive. So now, and we have 3 different mailmen, so now every time I just need to catch that same one when he comes back and ask him. But no, I've started, like I said, to do a lot more while I'm on the book studies with you, loving them, ordering extra books too. I'm making a page in my notebook when I hear a book suggestion, and I have several that I have ordered. Maxwell's at the top of the list, but I'm really going to spend more time on reading as well, half hour a day minimum. So
Yay.
that, yeah, I'm very, very into the videos and the reading right now.
Awesome. Yay, yay, Mary. Karen, let's hear from you. I haven't heard from you yet, girlfriend.
Let's be
Kelly,
quiet.
Kelly's gotta go.
Okay. The knowledge gap. I'm trying to learn and learn and learn to everybody.
Uh-huh.
The mistake, I'm afraid of making a mistake, and I've made a few, but I'm just learning from you guys to just keep quiet. And then perfection. I want to know all the answers before I go out and do anything. I'm trying to work on those really, really hard.
Awesome. Okay, great. So, I mean, do you have a way that you're going to try to go at those? Do you have a plan of action?
The plan of action is part of it with reading these books and learning from them, and then putting myself out there, even if it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Not being afraid to do it, to just do it.
Awesome. And Karen, by the way, it's really good to see your face. Even though I can see just
here
small,
a little bit.
There you go. I'm glad you're here today. It's been a long time since I talked to you. We Zoomed with Karen, like, what was it, like over a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
It's really nice to see you. So we're going to be seeing you every week, right?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here.
Well,
Guys, Karen Coppage, she is one of Lori Dragon's in her team. And Karen, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, I'm Karen Coppage, and my husband knew Lori way back when, and Lori lives way on the East Coast, and I'm in Missouri. So kind of the oddball out, but I don't mind.
Awesome. Awesome. And I know that not everybody knows each other here. Some of us do, but there's others that don't. So let me finish with Debbie. Debbie and Angela, go ahead and tell us what your gaps are. Let's hear about those real quick.
All right, mine is the assumption gap. I thought I would automatically grow, and I have learned that no, that does not happen. I do plan on doing all the book studies that I can do. I have been watching videos, reading as much as I can, watching tapes, and I will continue to do that. I'm afraid of making mistakes, and that's okay. I'm trying to get over that.
Right.
I'm trying to learn just as much as I can. I'm going to take action and get out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try tomorrow, Suzanne, to do that Zoom call with that girl that we were talking about.
Yes.
I work every day on looking in the mirror and doing like self-talk to myself to get me out of this little zone that I'm in.
Okay. Awesome.
I travel with my husband, and I'm away from my family. So there's times that I miss them.
Right.
And we're always in a different location. We're never really in one place for any certain amount of time.
Right.
Just like this year, we've been in Louisiana, and we're now in Minnesota.
Okay.
I don't know where we will be in a month from now, but I really don't have any friends around here. I don't have family around me unless we go home. So I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and meet and talk with people.
Right.
And just keep learning, showing up for these meetings and things. And let me say, while I'm here talking, running them out, I posted in a yard sale group Saturday morning about the opportunity part of the business instead of the products. And I used Suzanne's little thing she put in our group. I got 33 responses from that one post. It was so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
That many people responded, and then I was sending out messages, and another one would respond, and I sent out more messages, and I think I have 2 that may be on the Zoom call tomorrow.
See, there you go. Out of
I'm
30
working.
something, you might get 1 or 2. And isn't it worth it?
Well, yes, like my husband said this morning, if you get 1 every day, it's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yay.
that's it.
Yay.
And as you guys can tell, I can get talkative, but I have to get started first.
Well, you got that is just fine, Debbie. I'm so proud of you. We're all proud of you. That is amazing. And you know what? You're going to accomplish your goals and you're going to overcome these fears. I know you will.
Oh, I know I will.
Angela, let's hear from you.
Hey, everybody. So I'm Angela Heyman. I'm out here in Dallas, Texas now. I was in Colorado Springs. Now I'm here in Dallas. In the very beginning, over 2.5 years ago, and keep in mind, I'm not on Suzanne's team, but I, in the beginning, it was an assumption gap. You know, I expected to get it to Emerald in a year, and that has not happened. The biggest recent one is I'm afraid to make a mistake, and the perfection. Like, I don't want to do something without having it to the T and knowing what I'm going to do and what the obstacles are going to be. That is the biggest one, but primarily it's, what if I make a mistake? That is my biggest one.
Right.
So what I've been doing to overcome this is just really just to stay motivated. That has been a big issue for me over the summer. We just moved into our new house. We have been in a huge transition, and I really haven't been exactly motivated, you know, because it's like I have kids, they're out of school and everything, and it was just really difficult. And so I kind of lost some momentum, some motivation, some inspiration, and it was really, really difficult for me because I just stopped. And when I moved out here, I made the decision I'm going to run 4 miles every single day. And that's a huge stretch for me because, you know, I'm not typically a runner. And when I do start walking, and it's like, I have to tell myself, you've got to get started now, or it's just going to be harder and harder the more steps I take walking.
Right.
And once I get started running again, and then it's like, oh, this is easy. Why was I thinking? So, you know, the mental block affects just so many different areas, even including your house, you know, just with the dishes, you know, if it'll just take 5 minutes to load up the dishwasher or 5 minutes to unload the dishwasher. It's not going to take 30 minutes or an hour. So what I am personally doing to overcome this is, you know, when I am out and about, of just saying to these total strangers, hey, are you interested in getting healthy or making some extra money on this side? And that is totally out of my comfort zone, but I've been doing it, and I'm getting more, yeah, I'm interested, then
Yes.
no, I'm not. And so that's huge for me, just to get out of my comfort zone and not being afraid of making a mistake and, you know, saying the wrong words. And I remember listening from a podcast, and they were saying, you know, you can say the wrong thing and people will still join you. And it's like, oh, well, that's so cool, you know, and it's all about your confidence and how you carry yourself. And so, I continue to strive to listen to Elimination, the podcast, every single day, to Entree Leadership, the podcast, and just really the growth I have been making since I have moved here to Dallas has been more intentional than when I was in Colorado. And I reached out to Suzanne. A lot of y'all don't know the story, but I reached out to Suzanne a year and a half ago, and I said, I need help. And over time, we became really good friends. So I knew that there was a law, you know, the law of the lid with John Maxwell, but I didn't know that was I was experiencing, but that is what I was experiencing. So
the law of the lid, meaning that you have, according to what your growth level is, that's where your limit is. In other words, you can't succeed way up here if your growth level is here. Your lid is capped. That's it. So you have to raise your lid in order to get successful, and that's what we're doing. Okay, guys, I really am so glad you're here tonight. If you need to go, it's like an hour and a half. I would love for everybody to introduce each other. Do you want to just say real quick where you're at? Just say, introduce yourself. Let's say Lori Dragon.
Hi, I'm Lori Dragon. I'm in East Hampton, Massachusetts. I've known Suzanne since literally the bassinet, practically in nursery school.
Yeah.
And literally. And Karen and I just met. I reached out to actually her husband, who I've known back in high school. And so we knew each other back in the day. And so I'm just so thankful that Plexus is bringing folks in my life that I've lost touch with and new friends. It's just amazing.
It is incredible. Susie, you want to go?
Hi, Susie McCrae here, Amherst, Massachusetts. Lori Dragon is my sponsor. And I just am in a career change right now, and I'll be working from home doing some recruitment for military veterans and working Plexus. And I love these book clubs. And thank you, Suzanne. You were spot on tonight, as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll call him back.
Okay, Cheryl, would you like to go?
Yeah. So I'm Cheryl Megan, and I live in Laredo, Texas, all the way down on the border. I live like 2 miles from the border, Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah. So estoy practicando mi español todos los días.
Oh, wow.
Like, you must. I mean, it's like, anyway. Yeah. It's its own place. And yeah, Suzanne and I, gosh, what did we do? We went to college together? So I hooked up with her, watching her posts, and a year ago, changed my life.
Awesome sauce. Suzanne. Thank you, Cheryl. Suzanne, ready to go?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Suzanne Millender. I live in Houston, Texas, and random how I got involved in Plexus, and my sponsor, Cassie, lives in Oregon. Met her through a friend of a friend that lives in Houston. I mean, you know how it all works.
Crazy.
Crazy. Now I'm here with you guys and love Suzanne Shirley with all my heart and soul. She has got me to where I am and going to get me where I'm going to be. So just went gold in August. Woohoo! So let's go, girls. I'm ready.
Yes. Mary.
I'm Mary Kikoski from Madison, Wisconsin, and my sponsor is dear Suzanne. She and I have known each other about 10 years. Don't get to see her nearly as often as I would like to. But yeah, the last year and a half, almost 2 years with Plexus, thanks to Suzanne, has been incredible.
And your own hard work, too.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. And Kelly and Tina, let's have you guys go.
I'm Tina Wabschall, and I'm from Fort Atkins, Wisconsin. I'm Silver Ambassador. I've been with Plexus since May of 2015. I have had some amazing testimonies of my own. So I sponsored Kelly, who is my best friend for 10 years now.
Yay. Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Wedge. I'm a Silver Ambassador, and I'm really good friends with Tina. Oh, I'm from Jefferson, Wisconsin, and she's the one that introduced me to Plexus. I love it. And I'm on Mary's team. We're all in Wisconsin. I'm glad to be here. I love the book clubs. I love Suzanne, and I love the whole team. It's great.
Love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Susan, are you there?
I am. Hold on. I'm
Okay.
coming. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I got something going on in the back. I'm really envious of everybody from Wisconsin, just to let you know, because I lived there from 91 to 97, and I loved it. Right now I'm in Arizona, Phoenix, just outside of Phoenix. My sister-in-law, Kathy Korst Evans, is my sponsor. And I I absolutely love the product. Started taking it on August 7th of this year. So I'm still a newbie, and I'm excited to be a part of this. I love all the positives. I love how happy everybody is. And I'm just excited about, being a part of it and seeing how far I can go. So
yay, woohoo, I love that attitude. Instead of how long will it take me? How far to go? Yeah, I love it.
Yes. So
Karen, thank you, Susan. Karen, would you like to say, I know you said that you're in Missouri. Did you want to say anything? Did we already go with Karen? Okay, Suzanne, see ya. Karen, I think I don't know whether she's hearing us or not. Debbie, did you want to talk? You said that you're right now in Minnesota?
Yeah, we're in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm originally from North Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm a silver ambassador. Tracy Hartman is the girl that sponsored me.
And they're all in North Carolina, guys. They're all in North Carolina.
She actually is family.
Under Frankie, guys.
And I'm working on moving up too. It's take me a while, but I'll get there.
Awesome. We're so glad to have y'all on tonight. Angela, I know you just said you're in Dallas, and she's the gold ambassador. We've got a lot of silvers and golds on tonight. I want to see y'all hit what your goals are this year. I want to see it happen, and I know we will. I love all y'all so much. Don't forget our Power Hour on Tuesday night, Susie McCrae and I, 8 p.m. I've got the link up on the Freedom page. Go ahead and send it out. Text everybody.
Oh, you posted the link already?
Yeah, I posted it, and let them know that there's going to be a drawing for a free product. We'll have a code word, and they can text it to you, and I will get that out. Okay. All right. So that's the next exposure. We got the Power Week going on this week, and starting tomorrow officially. And if Lori, you'll close the group now. Close it down. Okay?
I will close it.
Go in there and close it tonight.
I will tonight.
Okay, so chapter 2 next week.
Got it.
Thank you.
Love
Thank you, Suzanne.
Night.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Okay, good night. Good night.